Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Olivia and this is my channel where I love to talk about all things nail polish. Today's video is similar to one that I did just before Halloween. Ooh. I don't know why I did that just now, but yeah, where I filmed a video about 5 different last minute Halloween nail art ideas. And because Thanksgiving is coming up, I figured what better time to do a video for this. And today I am joined by a very special guest. This is Gobbler. So my husband and I, a couple years ago, shortly before Thanksgiving, we got Gobbler, and we kind of make like backstories for our stuffies. And Gobbler's backstory is that she's tired of people going straight from Halloween to the Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa season and just skipping over Thanksgiving. She is here to make a statement. But no, we love having Gobbler around. We actually keep her like out all year, kind of, because her personality is just that strong. But yeah, so Gobbler's gonna be supervising my Thanksgiving nail art today. And so, yeah, I know for some of you, you might be in the situation where you've been invited to Thanksgiving and you have no idea what kind of nails you want to do, or maybe you already know what kind of nails you're going to have, but you just are exhausted, you're tired, you need something fun and relaxing to do to spend some time just for yourself. And so if that's you, I would encourage you to pull out a swatch wheel, pull out some swatch sticks, and follow along with me as I make some nail art. So the way that I did it for Halloween is very similar to the way that I think I'm going to structure it for this video as well, where I start with the nail art that I think is going to be the let's say the lowest barrier of entry. I think for the Halloween one, if I remember correctly, my super easy level one was literally like a white nail and like 2 eyes for a ghost. Because I'm like, I need to start somewhere, right? But yeah, I've got a number of different designs. I'm super excited for this. Gobbler, how about you? Woo! Yep, she's excited too. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. The first design we're going to do today will be a pumpkin. I actually did a pumpkin for my Halloween nail art video, but I figure that this one is going to be a little bit less jack-o'-lantern and a little bit more harvest pumpkin, I guess. And so one other thing I'll mention as we're getting started is that I wanted to make sure to give credit to all the nail artists who have who I'm taking inspiration for with the nail designs that I'm doing today. As I was preparing for this video, I did some research, looked through some YouTube videos, Instagram posts, and all the ones that I'm referencing I'm gonna link in the description in case you want to give them a look and a follow. Okay, so for these pumpkins, I have pulled out 4 different polishes that I'm going to use. For all of the designs in this video, I'll tell you the exact ones that I'm using, but I'll also make sure to describe them in a more general sense so that even if you don't happen to have these exact colors, you'll know what kind of color and finish you want to look for in your collection. All of these here are creme polishes. I think the second one, it may be acrylic, but we'll get to that one. So the first one that I have is OPI's Pale to the Chief. This is a nude neutral creme polish. The next one that I have is let's actually start with this one first. This is a kind of a lighter to just like mid-level orange. The one that I have is Essie Tangerine Tease. I'm definitely getting a feel line on this one, I just noticed. Then you want to have some kind of darker orange to use as well for like the outlines. This one is from Cracked Delicacy in Sardinia. And then the last color that you'll want to pull out, this is almost reading black on camera, it looks like, but trust me, it is a brown. This is a brown creme polish called from Mooncat Kafkaesque. So as I'm looking at this reference photo here, the first thing that I did off camera before I started filming was to put down 2 coats of my background color that I'm using. And the one that I chose for this is OPI's Pale to the Chief. You could use any kind of background for this. I thought about doing like just a plain white background, but I thought, let me give it a little bit more warmth, and so that's why I went with Pale to the Chief. Also, something that I personally prefer to do when I'm doing nail art, and if there's the need for a solid background like this, I personally prefer to put down whatever background color first, add a top coat on top of that, let it sit for a few minutes, and that way when I go on top of it and start painting on other colors, it's just a lot easier for me to be able to move with the brush and everything. So I'm gonna start, why is this on so tight? Okay, there we go. I'm gonna start with my lighter orange here. And as I'm doing this, I will say, like, I know in the intro I mentioned that this is gonna be a good relaxation activity for those of you who might find yourself being a little extra busy during the holidays. And yeah, I can relate to that myself. Busy with work, busy outside of work, and this is a nice way for me to just kind of wind down a bit and just do something for myself. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do for this, because I need to get like a nice little, like a shape. It almost looks like I wanna do a heart without making it look overly like a heart. So I am going to start with, let's see. Also, for those of you who are new to watching my channel, this is where I should tell you that I am admittedly not really good at nail art. Like I'm getting better at it. But you know, if I were to say, hey, what do I consider my nail polish strengths to be? I would say probably my strengths are more when it comes to like layering polishes. I'm trying to get better at nail art, and I think just finding out ways to have fun with it is super helpful for me. So, okay, what I'm doing here is that I started with my nail brush to give myself a little bit of that border up there. And now I'm going in with the bottle brush to just kind of fill in all the rest of this here. And I recommend doing this because you are most likely not going to be able to make as defined of a line if you were to go in and try to draw that heart with this. It would just be a little bit rough there. So you don't have to get this super thick, but oh, I think I messed it up. No, it's okay. This pumpkin just has texture. Okay. I'll also add that I think one of the more difficult things about doing nail art, at least for me, is the extra patience that it requires, because I'm looking at this right now and thinking, okay, I just want to go in and do my other stuff, but I know that I need to let this sit for a bit. So I am going to pause the video here. I am going to let it sit, and I'm gonna go back to watching my reality shows that I've got on in the background, and then I will be back for the next steps once this has completely dried. Okay, it's been a few minutes, it seems to be dry, so now I'm moving on to putting out some of my next polish, which is going to be Delicacy in Sardinia, and that's going to be like the slightly darker orange, verging on brown in this case, which is fine. Whichever colors you choose, you really just want there to be a visible color difference between the main part of the pumpkin and like these ridges that we're gonna paint on there. Okay, so let's see. This is the one that I mentioned. I couldn't remember if this is technically considered on the Cracked website to be a crim or a crelly, but let's see how it goes when we work with this. So what I'm gonna do is start on the top here and just kind of outline the little, it almost looks like a v-neck t-shirt. Okay, that's what I'm calling this. We're outlining the neckline of the v-neck pumpkin t-shirt. Y'all, I swear if this design ends up looking more like a t-shirt than a pumpkin, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know. It's just gonna be some pumpkin t-shirt art. Okay. All right. I've got some on this other nail over here, but I'm not using that one, so that's okay. See what I mean? Doesn't that look like a v-neck? Okay, I'm just saying. But hey, as long as it's recognizable as a pumpkin in just a moment, that's gonna be fine. So now, starting from the center point, or actually I think I want to start from the outer edges and go meet it in at the center point. Okay. And this is where, like, you know, if you're wondering, well, why does it matter if a polish is a creme or a acrylic? That's what the opacity is the question here. So like, you see how in this first line that I drew there, it's a little bit sheer, and I do want this to have some more opacity to it so that I'm not actually seeing through to the orange underneath. So it may take a few lines for me to build that up, but that's okay. Right now, I think my main concern is that I want to make sure that I'm giving this pumpkin some curves, because pumpkins are like round-ish, and right now this is not looking as round as I realize it should be. So let me try to do a little bit more rounding on this side. Okay. Whee. Okay, that helped. So take it from me, use sound effects, and sound effects will help you to like give the round lines that you need for your pumpkin. Okay. Let's do one more, I think. Maybe 1, 2. I think I'm gonna just do one more here. Let's see. Y'all, why is it that literally every sound effect that I make sounds like I'm a ghost haunting something? Like, I mean, I'm not mad at it, because that usually is my kind of vibe. Like, I am just a creepy person in general, but like, okay. See, this is why we're starting here with this is the easy one. This is that looks like a pumpkin. What I might do, I actually don't think there's just one little spot I think I want to touch up to make it look like that. Okay. There we go. Okay. Still looks like a v-neck, but it also looks like a pumpkin, so I am okay with this. And now the last thing we're going to do is add on a stem, which is going to be where you use some of your brown polish. And here again, I would say whichever kind of brown polish you choose, you're going to want it to be something where it reads as a distinctly different color from the 2 other ones that you've used so far. Okay, and this looks like just a long triangle that's coming out of that center of the pumpkin, almost like it's kind of sitting in there a bit. So I'm just going to be very delicate with this as I draw this up. Ooh. Okay. There we go. And I'll also say I was really intentional about the ones that I chose that I wanted to do in this video, because I want it to be the case that anyone can feel like they're capable of doing nail art. I think it's when you kind of remove the pressure that I know we often put on ourselves to get things looking exactly right, and you just have fun with the shapes of it. You just kind of tell yourself you're doing the best that you can, then that's where the fun happens. And I would also say one of the benefits of using a swatch wheel for something like this, or swatch sticks, is that I do recommend before you take the time to do this on your actual nails, practice it first. Because like if I were to do this on my actual nail, one thing I would probably do the next time would be to make a slightly thinner stem, now that I see how big I made this one. But that's okay, and come up with whatever variations you would like. Last thing I'll say about this before we get on to the next one, something I just always like to mention in my nail art videos is that I do recommend making sure to wait even longer than you normally do to put top coat on over this so that the polish can dry. And then when you do apply the top coat, like put it on in a way where you're like using the brush to like float the top coat over the nail instead of you kind of like pressing down hard and like trying to smear it on there. I'm exaggerating, but like just be very gentle, very delicate. And yeah, we've got a pumpkin. Woo! Let's go on to the next one. Next, we have two different designs we're going to be doing, which is one is like a plaid fabric like design, and the other one is two leaves against like some kind of solid color background. And for these, I have done the same thing as I did with the previous design, where I've started by putting down a few coats of the background color that I've decided to use, followed by putting on top coat, waiting for that to completely dry before now moving on to where we are. So for the two here on the left, where we're going to be doing the plaid, I'm using a Crelly from Craft called I Am What I Am. It's a very fun name for this. It's a very like, I would describe this as being like a yellowish brown like color. So if you have something like that in your collection, or like even some kind of light brown should work for this. And then for the leaf one, the plain background color that I chose for that is the one we used before, OPI, Pale to the Chief, just some kind of neutral color, like nude creme polish background. So the reason why I've decided to swatch out two examples of the plaid nail design is that if you're doing nail art, and let's say you have the plaid design that you're using for even just a couple accent nails here and there, you don't necessarily want it to look the exact same way on every nail that you do it with. Like you'll probably be using the same colors, but for variety, you'll most likely want there to be some kind of differentiation in like how many lines you put for this one, or like the positioning of them, and so on. So that is why I'm going to do two examples of these here. So let's talk about our colors that I'm using for this. The yellow that I'm using is like a dark mustard yellow from Essie called Buzzworthy Bash. I'm using a burnt orange red from a brand that is newer to me, Perky Polish. Excellent formula. This one does not have a name, but it was their November 2025 gift with purchase. And since I'm wearing like red nails, you can look and see the difference there. Like the true red that I'm wearing on my nails compared to like the brick orangish red of this. Again, you feel free to use whichever colors you like, but I just want to show you like the ones that I'm using here. Then I have a dark green creme polish. I got this one in a D-stash, and it came with this little piece on top of it, but this is Sally Hansen Insta-Dry Chill Out. And then lastly, I have brown polish creme from Mooncat, Kafkaesque. Okay, so as I'm looking at the reference photo for this, we've got a number of different lines that are going like horizontal and vertical. And I think that because my yellow and my red ones are the relatively lighter colors, those are probably going to be the ones that I put on towards the end, so that so that they don't get completely swallowed up by the darker ones. So I think I'm going to start with the brown here. And I'll also say, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but for these nail art videos, I don't like to practice these in advance. I like to do them fresh while I'm recording so that you all can see what my actual thought process is for this, and just to help you to understand how I think about the nail art process and what some of the things are that go through my mind. And if I practice ahead of time, I might not always remember to mention those things during the live video. Okay, so what's my plan? I think I'm going to, oh, this is where I should say it's hard for me to draw straight lines. Okay, I'm gonna draw a straight line. I can do it. Okay, that line's a little thick. That's okay. That's okay. Okay. That's thick. That's all right. And then this one, I think I'm gonna have this. These are gonna be similar, but not the same. I know there's a number of different ways that I've seen people go about drawing lines for nail art. Like I've seen people put down tape and do it that way. I'm like, I admire the commitment to that, but I personally don't have time for that. And the idea of using tape for it doesn't, like, I feel like I would mess something up. I don't know. But I think it's more feasible for me to do something like just painting these like that. Okay, so yeah, I've got 2 lines so far. Woo! And not bad. So now I am going to put down some green. This is a lovely color, like a hunter green. I actually don't wear this polish that often. I tend to just use it in nail art now, because as much as I love this color, it is a horrible stainer. Like every time I wear this polish, like just fresh on my nails and not in nail art, my nails will be looking green afterwards. And so I'm on the hunt for like some kind of dupe for this that gives me the same color, but without giving me green nails. Okay, so putting some polish on my brush here. I'll also note that as you're doing this, one of the things that's going through my mind as I'm like wiggling my nail brush through the paint that I've just, through the polish that I put down there, I'm doing this so that I can get a good sense of I hope I'm using this word right, like the viscosity of the polish, and like how it moves and how thick it is. And because the thing is, you want to get a sense of how your polish moves before you start working with it on your nail. So that is why I'm doing that. And with this, it's not super thick or thin, so I would say it's like just right for making it so that I can get that kind of like line that I want without having to like go over. Oh, sorry. Okay. So in these videos, there are times when I do things where I get to a certain point in my nail art and I just have to pause because I realize that what I have drawn reminds me of a thing that was not intended to be the thing that I'm drawing. And when this happens, you would think that by now I would be able to just kind of ignore it, but nope. If I have to see it, y'all got to see it too. In the past, I've noticed that when things look like a minion, I've noticed when things look like a yam going to the club. This looks like a Ninja Turtle. Hear me out. You know how the Ninja Turtle, they got the little like band. I swear, y'all, if I put like 2 little dots here with the eyes, it's like the eyes of the Ninja Turtle, and that's the belt. I'm just saying, I drew a Ninja Turtle. Was not meaning to draw a Ninja Turtle, but here we are. Where was I? Okay, drawing a vertical line. Also, I think when I find things like that, it just makes this even more fun for me. Okay, I need to put some more paint polish down here because I didn't put down quite enough. Oh yeah, that should be good now. Okay. Does that look like plaid yet? I mean, I think so. It's kind of there. Okay. Then on this one, I'm gonna draw the line down here. And then I think I'm just gonna do one green for this one and do like a double of a different color to make it different. Okay, not bad. So now I want to go in with like my brick red. This really is super relaxing for me. It is just, it's nice. You know, I think for me when I do this, there's just something about how I'm just focusing on the art and not thinking about anything else that's going on in my life. And yeah, I think that's one of the great things about nail art. Okay, so I've got this red. What do I want to do? Okay, I think I want to do, I'm just pausing because I want to make sure I don't make this one end up looking like a tic-tac-toe board. So I'm probably gonna like draw a vertical line very close next to the green one, but leaving just a little bit of space there. Okay, let's see. Oh, that's good. So I see what I mean about how like with the opacity of the polishes that you choose, you're gonna want it to be something where these colors, oh, that curved, whoops. These colors are able to like lay on top of each other. There we go. Just gonna cover that up a bit. Okay. Yes, okay. So now I think that I want this one on the right to be, I'm gonna draw a second horizontal line close underneath the brown one, but still making sure to leave some space. And I can report that with these additional lines, this no longer looks like a Ninja Turtle. So, yay. Okay. And then I think I'm gonna do like a vertical one over here. Oh, wow, okay. This one looks like notebook paper. It's not a bad thing. Okay, cleaning off my brush on the side. And then for the plaid, that just leaves us with one more color. Woo. And that's gonna be the yellow. Yeah, I think this yellow is also one that I picked up sometime last year in a D-stash, and I love it because it is such a versatile yellow, mustardy yellow color with an excellent formula, and it's one that I've gotten a ton of great use out of, but it's something that had I not gotten it in a D-stash, I probably wouldn't have ever thought to pick this color out for myself, but I love it. Okay. So now we're just going to go in with that last color, this yellow, and starting on our left, I think I want that one to go probably just like right across the top. Yeah, let's do that as a horizontal. Oh yeah, that's good. I chose some great colors for this. They work really well together. Now that I'm thinking about it, I would like there to be a little bit more color contrast between that yellow and the background, but that's okay. You know what? This is why we practice. And part of why I think it's important to practice is that it's not only for practicing your technique, but also for testing out which colors you want to potentially use together. I mean, the number of times when I do a Skittle manicure or something like that, and I would just go back and forth with different color combinations before settling on the one that I actually want to do. Okay, come on, stay. I'm trying to get this to have the opacity I want. Okay. Okay, so yeah, if I think it would probably work better if you are able to make your lines a little bit thinner than mine are, but this, I think, still reads as plaid. You know, it's fall, it's plaid, it's festive and rustic. No complaints here. Okay, so now going on to the next one that's part of this reference photo. They have some leaves. So I am going to do, I think I want to do one as a brown, and then the other is going to be that red. And these seem to be very straightforward, I think, where you're going to start with so I'm gonna do a curved line like that, and then from there it looks like, let's see, so probably whatever is the thicker part, you're gonna want to have that be considered the top of your leaf, and the thinner part is going to be your bottom of the leaf. And then from there it looks like you're just kind of doing a little bit of fanning out on the sides there. Okay, that looks like a shark. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now it looks like a dog. Come on, let's make it look like a leaf. Okay. I say it looks like a leaf. Okay, we're gonna do it on the red now. And also, what you see me doing is adding a little bit more of each polish to my palette here, because it will dry up on the palette in between when you're using it, especially as you're moving on to other colors. So please make sure to put down fresh paint, and don't try to use super thick and dried polish, because it's just not going to give you the kind of, again, I think I'm using this word right, the viscosity and movement that you're looking for. Okay, this one, I want that to be the top. Okay, and then this is going to go down like that. Okay, this one's a little thicker than I thought. Trust the process. Why does it look like a red cactus? Okay. Why does it look like fish bones? Okay, these are my fishbone leaves. Yeah, they're cute, they're festive, it's foliage. But yeah, I'm gonna let these dry a bit, and then let's go on to the next one. Okay, next we have entered into the territory that I'm choosing to describe as, this seems very ambitious, but I believe in myself. We're gonna do some pie. And when I came across this one, I thought, this is too cute for me to not at least try to do. And to start with, I decided to give this one a nice, pretty pink background. The polish that I chose for this is Sally Hansen Insta Dry Pink Blink. And as always, I've put down 2 coats of this, followed by top coat. I've let the top coat dry, and here we are. So looking at this reference photo, there's a number of different components that I'm gonna need to illustrate here. We've got the part at the top that's like the dome over top of it. Then we've got the part in the middle that's like the crusty edge, and then we've got the silver at the bottom that's gonna be the pan, followed by an outline, some vent holes, and some steam. So I think that as I was thinking my way through this, I decided it would probably be best for me to begin in the middle, so that way I can make sure that I'm leaving enough space above and below that for the rest of the design. And for the middle edge part, I'm using OPI's Pale to the Chief. We've been using this one for all the others so far, but just to recap in case you might have skipped ahead to this one, this is a pale neutral creme polish. Just gonna put a little of this down here. And now I want pie. What kind of pie do y'all like having for your Thanksgiving? I know for myself, I love a good sweet potato pie. One of my uncles makes the most amazing sweet potato pie from scratch, and it is just so divine. Okay, so I'm going to load up my brush. This one seems pretty good to work with. This is the first time I'm actually painting using this brush with this polish today, so it's a little bit more runny than some of the other ones, but it should be fine to work with. I think my vision for this is going to be to draw what I'm gonna describe as like some clouds here. So just like some semi-connected round blobs. You can probably see what I mean about what I said with this one being a little bit more runny than the others. Again, it's not the end of the world, but it just is something that as you're working with your polishes, you want to keep in mind how they behave so that you can have a better understanding of how much polish you need to load up on your brush, how long you need to wait for that polish to dry, and so on. Okay. Next, I think let's go with the bottom part of this. And the one that I am using is a silver polish from Acorn Heart Lacquer called Snow and Ashes. And this is a silver. I think it's got like a little bit of a red tint or red glitter in there somewhere. If you don't have this exact one, choose say silver or gray, something that you're going to want to have that looks visually distinct from the white, because the white that's going to go on the top of this, you want that to be recognizable as like part of the pie, and not like have the silver be exactly the same as that. So let's see, this one's a little bit thicker. Okay, so I'm gonna draw like, I think kind of like a trapezoid here, something like that. Okay, this is not that bad so far. Does it look like pie yet? I don't know. It looks like a muffin. I'm okay with this looking like a muffin. That's that is progress. I'm trying to see how well this is building up. Okay, I think that's pretty good. It'll look even better once I go in with like a black outline. Okay, so far so good. Now we're gonna go in with, let's see, I'm done with this. I like to move the polishes out of the way once I've finished using them so I know what I've got left. For my white, this is an off-white that I love, crack polish crinkled linens. Has a really nice thick formula, which is excellent for nail art purposes. And just a little bit more here. Let's load up the brush. And for this, I need this to be kind of like a little dome on top. But also large enough for me to then go back in afterwards and put those 3 vent marks. Okay. As I'm doing this, I'm thinking that because of the layers in this, I'm thinking that I'm going to add some layers into this. What I'm probably going to end up doing is waiting for this to dry and then going over it, well, waiting for it to dry, then putting on top coat, and then finishing off with my black portion of this. And you could probably finish off the black part of this without needing to do that, but I just feel that because I'm needing to do black outlining here, I don't want my outlining to like be on that same plane with these with the colors I've put down so far. So I mean, let's see what happens. Yeah, so I'll be back in a moment after I've put on top coat and let that dry. So while I was waiting for this to dry after putting on some top coat, I was looking around because I'm like, where did I put my other nail brushes that I bought but haven't used? And I did some digging and found the set. So this is one, it's actually like a 2-edged-ended one. If you compare like the width here, so the one I've been using is on the right, you can see that like it's actually almost kind of like split there, whereas the one on the left that I want to use for the outlining is a lot more precise. So black polish, bee's knees lacquer void. I really wanted to do this right because my pie is looking very cute and I want it to be like as cute as possible with the outlining. So we're in the home stretch with that one. Okay, that should be enough black. And let's see. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. It's like, I'm trying to figure out if I should hold it here or am I supposed to hold it like in the middle there? That feels weird. So I'm just gonna hold it there. Oh, this feels very weird. Okay. It's just a very long paintbrush, but it's gonna work. I get used to it. Okay. Okay, here we go with some outlining. I don't want to have like too much on my brush. Okay, slow and steady. It's working. There we go. That is exactly it. Oh. Yay. And so I want to give some like lumps, I think, to this part here. Just a little bit of rounding. Like that. And then there's like 3 vent holes on there. 1, 2. Look at that! Okay, it looks like a burrito from Chipotle. I'm just saying. Like with the silver on the bottom, right? and like a bunch of rice coming out the top. That's that's the vision. Got a little bit of extra black on the side there, but that's fine. It is art. Yeah, I think that my choice to put the top coat down and then do the outlining over that was definitely the way to go, because that made it so that I have a uniform surface to work on top of here. And then I just have to do some steam. Okay, let's see. Let's try that one again. Steam. Okay, there we go. That's good enough. It still looks like a burrito. But it's pie. So, but like, I mean, I would eat a burrito on Thanksgiving. I'm just saying. So yeah, here we are. And now I'm gonna go into the next one. Up next, we are going to do an acorn. Okay. Which I'm telling myself not to overthink this one. I'm telling myself it's really just like a big old Hershey's Kiss with a face and a hat. Like that's all that this is, but it's an acorn. So started off just like before with 2 coats of my base background color, nude, neutral, creme polish using OPI, Pale to the Chief. By the way, you're probably noticing by now, if you've been watching all of these and like up to this point, or even if you've been skipping around, you can probably see that I've been using intentionally the same color palette across all of these. It's not to say that you can't like do like neon green or something for Thanksgiving, but this was intentional so that if you are looking to mix and match these to do like a full manicure, this gives a little bit more cohesion, and it makes it so that everything looks like it should belong together. Okay, so let's talk about what we're gonna do with this acorn. I'm starting with some kind of not dark, like a medium brown color. The one that I'm using is Cracked Polish, I Am What I Am. This one is a bit of a crelly finish, so I'm probably going to need to build it up a bit, but that's okay. I think as long as I can get the overall shape that I'm going for with this, I should be in a good place with it. Like, and you know, on the topic of how runny some polishes are, you can see just how much this has spread out as I was putting it there. So that's just something you're gonna wanna keep in mind working with your polishes. Okay. So let's see, how do I wanna do this one? It looks like the body of the acorn is taking up like 2/3 of the space. So, and it's like, okay, I struggle with doing curved lines, so I'm telling myself this is triangular-ish, but it's not a triangle. This acorn needs some curves. So I'm going to curve down there. Oh, looks like that was not all the way dry. Okay. You can kind of see some rippling there. That's all right. That's okay. It's all right. I'm just gonna, when that happens, what I tend to do is just go over it in the opposite direction from where the rippling occurred. And that kind of like will undo what happened there and like smooth it out a bit. No big deal. Then we've got, I'm gonna expand this over to the side a bit and give a little bit more of a bottom here. And he's got a little hat. Okay, like that. Okay, and then I can just very carefully start filling this in. For this, I probably should have used more of a creme polish than acrylic so that I could get the opacity that I want, but I don't think I have a creme in this color that I was looking for, so it's fine though. You know, even if what you have is like acrylic, you just have to like build it up a bit. It's gonna be okay. This will be an acorn. I believe in myself. I think I need a little bit more like oomph on this side. Yeah. Like that. As I'm doing this, I'm not sure if this is gonna get picked up on the audio when I'm editing this, but it is super windy outside right now, like to the point where I just hear it so loud. Okay, so gonna let that dry. And now I need to bring in my darker brown, which is Mooncat's Kafka-esque, because we're gonna give this little acorn his hat. By the way, I have not yet decided what kind of nails I'm gonna do on Thanksgiving. I know what my outfit is, but I just have to decide what kind of nails I'm doing with it. I'll figure it out by tomorrow. We'll see. Okay. So it looks like a hat. Okay. So like going off to the side there and like that. I'm telling myself again, trust the process. You know how sometimes we can do this stuff and it just like, you tell yourself it is not looking like anything, but you just have to believe that it's going to get built up the way that either the way that you're envisioning that it will, or even if it turns out deviating from that, sometimes that's honestly not a bad thing, because it just means that you have come up with something different. And often that can be something better. Okay, he's got a hat. And now I need to put like a little stem in here. Okay, boop. Okay, I think that looks like an acorn so far. Yeah, so from here, actually there's a little part there. Okay, from here, what's missing is I need to do a little white swoosh along the side to give some like dimension there. I also need to give some eyes and a mouth and some little cheeks, and then also some white swooshes up there. Okay, I think what I'm probably gonna do for all of that will be to take the same approach that I did with the, I was about to say the burrito, with the with the pie, to let this sit and dry, and then I'm gonna put top coat over it, so that way when I go over all of this with the additional detail, I'll have that uniform surface to work from. So I will be back. All right, put on the top coat there, let it sit for a few minutes, and now I need to go in with these last three pieces with white, pink, and black. I think I'm gonna start with the black so that I can do like the little face first. So I'm using Bee's Knees Lacquer Void. And I think this does look like an acorn. So I'm gonna do like I did before and go in with my more fine detailing brush. Not sure if that's technically what it's called, but that's what I'm calling it. And okay, I need to give it 2 eyes and a mouth. I can do that. Don't overthink it. Okay, that's 1 eye. Uh-oh, that one's a little bit bigger than the other. It's okay. That's all right. And then a mouth. I think I put too much polish on the brush. I don't want to put too much polish on the brush because then I run the risk of it like smearing. Okay. Okay, it has a mouth. All right, so far so good. Next, I think a quick, easy win will be to put on the 2 little dots for its cheeks using a light pink creme polish, Sally Hansen Insta Dry Pink Blink. Actually, for this one, I think I'm gonna use a different one that I haven't used yet. It is another one I have in my collection that is, you can see just the filled line here. It's been a while since I've used it. This is Sally Hansen Insta Dry Pink Pursuit. It is like, compared to Pink Blink, it is, so let me put these on here. So, you can see that Pink Pursuit in the middle is like, it's not white, but it's like almost whitish pink. Okay, so because I'm going to use white on top with the like little acorn swooshes, I think I want to see how this one can go if I use that for the cheeks. I think also because I want to make sure that the little cheek dots show up against the brown background of the acorn. Okay, and for this one, do I want to draw that or do I want to use a dotting tool? I think I'm going to just draw that. Yeah. Okay, so it looks like they're just off to the sides, like that. And like that. Okay. And since I have this out here, I mean, I might as well just use this for the, no, I still want to use like a white for the other part here. So I'm going to put out cracked polish, crinkled linens for the other accents that I'm going to do. Yeah, that's the thing with nail art. I constantly go back and forth and change my mind. And, you know, I just want to normalize that that is an okay thing to do. It's fine to like tell yourself, oh yeah, I was going to do this initially, but now I want to do this. Or to say, well, the reference photo looks like this, but I want to do it that way. It is your nails. It is your art. You can do whatever you want. Okay. So I am going to start, oh, I just put my brush in the wrong one. Whoops. Let's go to crinkled linens. And I think I want to do the little like curve part first. Just a very slight. Yeah, sure. And then it looks like some swooshes up top. Why does that look like eyebrows? Oh no, it looks like eyebrows. This isn't gonna help. Why does my acorn have eyebrows? Why do they not look that bad? Okay, let's do some more swooshes. Okay, now it's clear that that's not an eyebrow. You know, as much as I probably should have stuck with just the pink blink. Yeah, I thought Pink Pursuit was gonna be enough to read as pink there, but it's not. So I'm going back to Pink Blink and gonna put that on top of it. You know, sometimes you think you know what you want to do, and you try it and it turns out okay, but then you're like, I'm gonna go back to what I was gonna do anyway. Yeah, because I do want that to read a little bit more pink than it currently is. I'm just dabbing this inside that white dot that I already put there. Okay, that's better. There's an acorn. Woo! Okay, this looks great. And now I just need to wait for this to dry, add some top coat, and let's go on to our final design. All right, our final nail design that we're gonna do today is the one that I saved for last because I think it's probably gonna be the most difficult, but also because as I speak, I'm looking over out of the corner of my eye and I see Gobbler staring at me from across the room. And she's like, I can tell she's thinking, you better get this one right. Gobble, gobble. So yeah, this one's gonna be fun. So this is one where similar to how when we had the plaid and the leaf accent nail, this one's gonna have a turkey as one of the nails that you can do, and also an accent nail. So I'm gonna start with the accent nail first. For both of these swatches, I have put down 2 coats of cracked polish, crinkled linens, white, off-white creme polish, and then put on top coat, let it dry so that we've got a smooth surface to work from. The first thing you're going to want to do will be to figure out what you want your feather colors to be. And I recommend using 3 different colors for your feathers, just like you see in the reference photos. The ones that I'm choosing are the ones that I'm pulling from our earlier color palette. I'm going with like a brick red creme from Perky Polish. This is their November gift with purchase. Then I'm gonna use also this burnt orange Crelly from Cracked Delicacy in Sardinia. And then this mustard yellow from Essie Buzzworthy Bash. And I like how the reference photo has like the yellow in the middle of that. So, well, I kind of want to ask myself, which order do I want to put these in? I mean, let's see, red, orange, yellow. Well, okay, yeah, rainbow colors. So let's rainbow order. Let's do it like that. Okay. So I am going to start with my red. Let's move that up there. Yeah, and this kind of design, I wanted to make sure to show you all both the turkey and the accent nail, because this can be a great way, like an easy way to have a nice consistent look across your nails without having to come up with like so many different designs for all your fingers. You just kind of like put a turkey on one and then put your feathers on the others. Okay, so how are these being drawn? It looks like you've got like some kind of like okay, like feathers, like leaves. Okay, I'm gonna do the leaf one over here. Okay, let's see. Okay, that looks like a feather. Yeah, I think what's going on here from what I'm seeing in the reference photo is that when you do this, you're like having them all come out from the same like corner of your nail. And it looks like there is some variation in how the nail artist for this one chose to do it on theirs. Like some of them are coming from one corner on one nail, another one's doing it from a different one. So it's up to you how you decide to do this. Okay, let's go in with the yellow one next. Okay, again, we're starting from the corner, making sure to leave some space in between the feathers, and then fill it in. Okay, so far so good. And yeah, like don't worry if it doesn't look perfect. I think one of the good things about using a consistent color palette is that, like across your nails, is that even if your design doesn't end up looking exactly the way that you want it to, it will most likely still read as having some consistency and continuity there because you're using the same colors, but in different ways. It's like you're telling a story, like some kind of story with your nails. Okay. Oops, I did that in the wrong order. I thought I said I was going to do red, orange, yellow, but now I'm doing red, yellow, orange. It's fine. It is all art. And this one's gonna go there. Yeah, this one has a different consistency, like I mentioned earlier. This one is more of a crelly than a creme, so that's why it looks a little bit more streaky there. That's fine. What I'll probably do is wait for this to dry a little bit more, and then I will go back over that again with another layer of it. Okay, for now, I like that. My feathers are a little bit bigger than the ones in the reference photo, but that's fine. Now let's, as Gobbler continues to stare at me, let's do the turkey. This is where we need to go in with, looks like some dark brown in the middle there. Okay. And it looks like we've got like almost like two circles on top of each other, like a bigger circle on the bottom and then a smaller one on the top. Okay, making sure to leave room for the feathers to be present. Okay. Y'all, I really hope I don't give this turkey a little tiny head, but it's gonna be all right. It's looking like a snowman. I'm just gonna fill this in all the way. Like I said, this has been very, very relaxing. I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I'm filming this video at night, and in the morning I am taking a certification exam. Woo! I was studying earlier today, and I've been studying for the entire past week, so it's not the kind of thing where I'm like, oh, I should be studying right now. I think one of the things I've learned about myself as it relates to taking these types of exams is that the best thing I can do for myself is to make sure that I'm going in with a clear head and a relaxed mind, because if I don't do that, then I am going to feel stressed. And what better way to relax the night before an exam than by doing some nail art? Okay, there we go. So we've got the body and the head of our turkey. Cool. Now it looks like I'm gonna need to put some feathers on here. So we're gonna have like three colors, just like here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I think I'm gonna use the red as my color. That's gonna be the one that's on the sides and in the top. Let's go with just like a little triangle there. Okay, that feather looks good. Why does it look like a candle though? And then just kind of, I'm just going to wing it. Get it? Y'all know I love making jokes. And I will laugh at my own joke even if nobody else laughs at it. That is just the kind of person I am, and like it's how I roll. Okay, that looks like a turkey, I think, so far. I now need to do the yellow and the orange as well, so let's go over. Yeah, I had a feeling that by this point that I would need to put a little bit of fresh polish down here just to be able to get it moving in the way that I wanted to. That red was fine, but the yellow was starting to dry up a little bit. Okay. So I'm gonna put one feather. Yeah, so this is all just coming out of the background here. I'm just gonna give a little point to make it look like a feather. Why is it that the most difficult designs I do in these videos always seem to end up working out the best? Like, sometimes I cannot draw a straight line for the life of me, but then like I'm able to draw a turkey. Like, make it make sense. I don't know how that happens. Okay. And now we are going in with the orange, which I'm gonna want to put some more down. And yeah, okay. So yeah, at this point, I just need to close in this gap with a feather. Look at that. Okay, that is a turkey. I think Gobbler approves. And then I'm gonna go in and give, like I said, just a little bit more to this one so it's a bit more opaque. Okay, so then the last thing I need to do is to go in and give the turkey some eyes and a little like gobble, what do you call that thing? The little like little nose chin thingy. Okay, I could wait until, well, you know what? I've been doing this for a while tonight and I don't want to have to wait for more top coat to dry. So I'm just gonna, we'll see how this goes. I think I'm just gonna go straight ahead and very gently layer this on top of what we've already got, which is fine to do. I think usually I tend to play it a little bit more safe by putting down a layer of top coat in between things like this. But I think if I'm just very cautious like this, like what I'm doing right now is almost like, I wouldn't even call this like swiping. It's more of like dabbing on here. Why is that eye taking up like more than half of the turkey's head? I wasn't paying attention to where I was putting it down, and now the turkey's got like a mega cyclops eye. Okay, it's gonna be like that. Whoops. Oh my goodness, what have I done? Okay, it's gonna be all right. Turkey's just gonna look a little wonky, but that's okay. My nail art usually does end up looking a little wonky, one way or the other. Now we're gonna go in with the little nose thingy with some orange. Also, if I didn't say already, this is the one I'm using is Tangerine Teas by Essie. Okay, so it looks like we need a little bit of a, wow, I really did not realize how like big that first eyeball was. Oh my goodness, that eyeball is just there. Okay, this nose is looking all right. There we go. Okay, and the last thing I need to do is just go in and give like the little dots for eyes, black polish, bee's knees lacquer, void, and let's see. I mean, these eyes are already looking how they are, so it can't get worse than this, right? I mean, let's see. I'm gonna do that one first. Okay, that one worked out all right. Oh, there we go. We just got one more. That's it. We can do this, right? Okay. So here's my theory. I was gonna say I have a theory that like that one eye is looking bigger because it's like it's looking to the side, right? No, it's just got a big ol' eye. That's fine. Well, okay, so what I'm gonna do now is wait for those to dry, put some top coat on, and then show how it looks in some other lighting, and then we'll get wrapped up. Ooh, this was a lot of painting, but I had a ton of fun with doing this, and also with Gobbler's supervision. Yes, Gobbler, what do you think of these now that you've seen it, especially the turkey? Woo! Yes, she gives her her seal of approval for sure. Yeah, as I said before, nail art can be something that I think is a fun outlet to do, even for times where you might not be wanting to do it on your actual nails, but you just need a fun way to slow down, chill out, and decompress. And what better way to do that than by trying to paint a turkey? You know, like just I had a blast with this, even though, you know, some of these were looking a little rough at points, but you know what? We made it happen. It worked. It was great. So, as always, thank you all so much for watching, for being part of this channel. I know as we enter into this season of thankfulness, that is something that I especially want to make sure that I say, because you know, I never could have imagined a couple months ago when I first had the idea to create this channel just how much it would be something that is proving to be helpful, enjoyable, and fun for so many of you who are watching from just places all over. I've just had a blast with this, and I've got so many more ideas for other videos coming up, so I'm looking forward to getting those filmed in the coming weeks and months. Very, very thankful for all of you, and I hope that you all are able to take some time over the coming days and weeks to slow down for yourselves, to take a moment to pause and reflect on the things that you are thankful for in your lives. And I hope you all, if you are celebrating Thanksgiving, I hope that you have a safe, happy, love-filled holiday. And if you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, or if you don't have anyone in your life to do that with, I hope that you are able to find some way to spend the day in whatever way is meaningful and special for you, because we all deserve that. So thank you all again, and I will see you, Gobbler, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.